1977, Peter Gabriel's French tour ends in bloodshed. It's October 1977, and Peter Gabriel is giving several concerts in France, in Paris, Olympia, Lyon, Palais des Sports, and Colmar, Palais des Sports. The tour also includes stops in Dijon, Lille, Poitiers, Bordeaux, and Toulouse, with an additional concert in Paris at the newly opened Hippodrome de Paris, Porte de Pantin, on Sunday, October 30, 1977. But let's get back to Peter Gabriel. In 1975, after leaving Genesis, where he was the lead singer, Peter Gabriel released his first solo album on February 25, 1977. The album was met with a lukewarm reception from the music press at the time, who were surprised by its rock sound, a far cry from Genesis's sophisticated compositions. This album, produced by Bob Ezrin, who also produced Lou Reed's albums around the same time, nevertheless achieved great success thanks to hit tracks like Salisbury Hill and Here Comes the Flood. It's worth noting that the album received several awards, including the Prix de l'Académie Charles Cros. On October 30, 1977, Peter Gabriel returned to Paris for an additional concert. This gave those who had missed the previous dates the opportunity to experience his debut album in its entirety live. Of course, the audience wouldn't have the chance to hear or see Robert Fripp, Steve Hunter, or Dick Wagner, prestigious musicians who played on the album, but they would see Tony Levin on bass. The group delivers well, and we find the album's strong sound and emphasis that made it a success. All of this would remain a fond memory for Peter Gabriel fans, were it not for the murder of Lucien Mellion on the sidelines of the concert at the Hippodrome de Paris. Doesn't this kind of story remind you of anything? Remember the Rolling Stones at the Altamont Festival on December 6, 1969. On that day, a young man was murdered by a member of the security staff during the concert. The case is less well known than the Rolling Stones, but just as sordid. The elements are the same. A young man, Lucien Mellion, a 17-year-old high school student from Guadeloupe, passionate about music, is murdered by Marcel, a member of the concert's security staff. Lucien is hit by a bullet fired near his heart. He dies very quickly from his injuries. The incident occurred outside the venue a few minutes before Peter Gabriel's concert began. It was an accident, that's all. This is the argument the accused, a 29-year-old member of the security staff, will give when speaking about the young man's murder. Marcel shot him over a murky affair involving two 10-franc notes, the equivalent of €3 today, stolen from the pocket of Lucien's brother, Christian Mellion, during a pat-down under the pretext of searching for counterfeit concert tickets. A deliberate shot was fired, a fact the accused does not deny. That evening, several people were involved with Marcel. Among them was Jean-Claude, 24 years old, another member of the security detail, accused of assault and carrying a weapon. There was also a certain Daniel, 26 years old, who had come to lend a hand with his motorcycle chain, and who faced the same charges. At the time, it was called a ratonade, a racist attack, and the affair was sordid. The three accused, including Marcel, the shooter, were quickly identified and tried. It won't bring poor Lucien Mellion back to life, but all three perpetrators have been convicted. This assassination deeply affected public opinion in France at the time. Several demonstrations were organized in memory of young Lucien. Above all, this affair served to highlight, beyond the obvious racist aspect, the dubious conditions under which major concerts were organized in Paris, providing an opportunity to demand proper concert halls with real security. I don't know if Peter Gabriel was aware of what happened that day on the sidelines of his concert. Perhaps he learned about it later. I remember that a committee was created to commemorate Lucien Mellion, and that this committee asked the singer Joan Baez to cancel a concert she was scheduled to give some time later in Paris. The slogan that perfectly sums up this sad affair was, "No more slaughterhouses, but well-equipped concert halls. This was an opportunity to turn the page on the Abattoirs de la Villette, which hosted concerts by David Bowie, the Rolling Stones, and The Who, among others. It was a venue not really designed for such events, with more than questionable acoustics, which, thankfully, rock fans no longer had to endure starting the following year. For the channel, the Grab material prepared by Grzegorz Grabowski.